Hey everyone, welcome to today's Program Yourself Thin podcast. Today we're talking about what to do once you reach your goal weight, right? That's the ultimate goal here, is to get to the goal weight. And then what do you do? A lot of people treat this as an afterthought. I would suggest you think about it from day one of your weight loss journey, because what you do once you reach your goal weight is going to depend on which path you took to get there. If you took the fast path where all you want to do is lose weight, as much weight as you can lose as quick as possible, most likely what you did is you did some extreme plan like keto. You cut calories down dramatically. You stopped eating for 16 hours. You really force yourself to follow these really strict things so you can lose weight quickly. Now, if that's the path you take, once you reach your goal weight, what you've got to do now is you've got to completely enter a whole new phase where you need to figure out the sweet spot of how to manage that calorie intake to keep your weight the same thing. Now you got to figure that out, because what you're doing in a drastic way is this is your average calorie consumption. You drastically undercut it so you lose weight quickly. And now you got to figure out where in here is the maintenance level. And so there's a lot of work to be done there. And it's its own separate phase, as challenging as it is to lose the weight in the first place, because really what makes weight loss challenging is its behavior change. Okay. And so if you're going to do dramatic ways to lose weight, you're really going through two phases. You've got to lose the weight first. That's the dramatic change. And then you have to figure out how to figure out what the maintenance level is and how to do that. So it's two separate things, extra work. So that's what you got to do if you get your goal weight that way. Now, if you do it the Program Yourself Thin way, where we focus on maintenance from day one, the difference is this, that once you reach your goal weight, you just keep doing what you've been doing. Because instead of trying to drastically cut the calories down with Program Yourself Thin's approach, we cut the calories down to that maintenance level right from the beginning. And we figure out what that maintenance level is right from day one. And once you figure out what that is, eventually your goal weight kind of hits where you want it to be. But the whole time you're focusing on your behaviors. So in this process, when you hit your goal weight, you just keep doing what you've been doing, because that's what you've been practicing from day one. You've been focused and practicing on how to live at your goal weight. So there's one phase. Yes, there's a weight loss phase that happens kind of externally, but your focus is on the behaviors, in creating the behaviors, the lifestyle, the mindset, the eating patterns of being the weight that you want to live at. So it's a one phase goal, and you're practicing it the entire time, starting on day one, all the way till, your last day on earth. And so this is the difference, and you're free to choose whichever one you want to do, but I think one's superior to the other. But again, you deserve to at least see an alternative point of view than just the diet mindset and the diet approach, and to recognize that that's just one more reason why 95%, it's estimated. I've seen estimates from 85 to 95% of people that lose weight on a diet do not keep it off long-term. And it's because, again, they never learn how to do that second phase. So it's food for thought. So think about this, and I hope this helps you out. If anyone has any questions, feel free to ask them. We'll get into it. The lesson I just gave is profoundly valuable. I've never even put it that way. That just kind of struck me inspirato, but man, it's the whole game. So what's up, Don? How's it going? Hope you're having a nice day. Let's see. All right. So here we are. What is it? Tuesday. Hope everyone's having a nice week. Weird week, right? I know the holiday's coming up. Another holiday. What is there, a holiday every other week now? It seems. Do not put your weight loss off till after Memorial Day. Again, if I can urge you to do anything, start now. Start today. Start simple. Start with something easy. God forbid. Start your weight loss with something that's easy and comfortable that you'll be able to keep up forever. What an idea, right? Because there's a whole lot of people that are going to say, well, I'll start next Tuesday. I'm going to start Tuesday after Memorial Day. And then it's a Tuesday. You can't start on a Tuesday. So I say, I'll start next Monday. Shit. 4th of July is only 4 weeks away. Maybe I'll just wait till after that. Never ends, right? Don says 16 pounds down from last summer. Don, so great. That's amazing. 16 pounds down in a year. And I know people, oh, in a year, it's 16 pounds for good. Listen up. It's 16 pounds for good. Do you understand the difference? It's funny. I forget who it was. I don't know if, I believe it was Catherine. She had sent me a video. It was a Good Morning America. It was a medical expert, but they were talking about Ozempic. That's what kind of inspired me to this lesson today is they were talking about Ozempic. What do you do when you get to your goal weight? And she's like, you'll go off and you'll put the weight back on. It's like the vast majority, not everyone. There's always one or two people, but the vast majority put the weight back on. And you're like, man, here's a brilliant woman. I mean, this woman is clearly brilliant. She's using big words I'd never heard of. She's talking about medicine and she's so smart. And then you say, well, what are you doing to get your goal weight? They're going to put the weight back on. Fuck, man. Is this like some imaginary boundary of a mindset that can't think about what it's like to live at the goal weight? Is no one talking about this? I mean, this lady is clearly a professional, clearly intelligent, clearly well studied. And the second you ask about maintenance, not a suggestion, not even a suggestion. Just, yeah. It's like, my God. It's crazy to me. It's crazy. No one thinks about maintenance. No one thinks about it. It's weird. What's up, Heather? Took a walk to calm myself last night. Did nothing. Live and learn. The couch wins. Heather, I was thinking about you. We're gonna work on that. If you get on the call tonight, we're gonna talk about relaxation and we're gonna practice it. We're actually gonna practice it. It's just funny. You'll see when you unlock that skill. That's gonna be quite a skill for you. Okay, but yeah, sometimes but I'm glad you said that. Because that's a good point. Sometimes we have these ideas. We've just been told this stuff, or we just believe that, okay, next time I get upset, I'll take a walk. That'll work. We take the walk and we feel shittier. Or say we get upset and say, oh, I'm supposed to take a deep breath. I'm still mad, and I remember that phase. And I'll take you one further. I remember I was learning from Tony Robbins, and he would talk about having basically anchor points. They're kinesthetic anchors where he would be like, you could have a button on the back of your hand and then you push that and you're totally relaxed and calm. You can be as mad as you want. You push that button. Ooh, you're totally relaxed. And I remember testing it out and I was like, okay, that sounds great. That's cool. And I remember getting all pissed off. I was like, let me push my button. Fucking button not working. This button don't work. And I remember like, that was such a profound moment for me because it made me take a step back and realize that like things I've been told, maybe they work, maybe they don't, but it really depends. Whether they work or not really depends on what am I doing on the inside? I was almost like, I want to push this button, have it work in spite of me, right? I'm in a bad mood. Nothing's changing in here, my mind, nothing's changing my body. I want to be able to just push the imaginary button. All of a sudden I'm relaxed and calm. And people do this with me all the time with hypnosis. I did this with hypnosis in the beginning, where it's like you want these things to work in spite of yourself. I want the hypnosis session to completely change my brain so that I will just eat right. And it's like, it ain't how it works. Sorry. The hypnosis is a tool. These things are tools. But a lot of times, like going for a walk is one step in a recipe of creating a better state. And so the walk it's a first step. It's okay. The good things, if you changed your environment, that's good. But what are your expectations? If your expectations are, I'm going to step outside, go for a walk and come back feeling amazing. Probably not, maybe, but probably not, because this has to change up here. This has to change in here. So if we go for a walk because we want to change the environment, get into a neutral environment, we want to relax our body while we're doing it. Let go of that stress. Where do I store the stress? Oh, I store it in my shoulder, my stomach. Oh, Christ. It's like, calm down, right? Loosen up. Let me relax my breathing. Let me breathe more deeply and fuller. That kind of calms me down. Whew. Okay, relax, calm. I'm in a different setting. Let me absorb into the environment, right? Let me kind of listen to the environment. Let me listen for the wind. Let me feel the wind on my face. Let me feel the sun on my skin if it's day. Let me feel the cool air, if it's evening. Let me hear the sound of birds chirping or kids playing, or, I'm now connecting into the environment. So it's going to change me, you see? And so I'm actively using hypnosis to change my state. I'm not just expecting I'm just going to go outside and all of a sudden it's going to change everything, So I know for you, Heather, as we take it deeper, it unlocks your ability to do that. It's never just the walk or drinking the water, or taking a deep breath or going to bed. It's never like just like one thing. It's also what's going on in our brain, what's going on in our body. And we practice and get better at it, looking for those things. But I'm proud of you, Heather, because I don't expect that a walk's just going to fix it. What I'm impressed by is that you took a walk. And Program Yourself Thin, what we're looking to do is just something different than what we typically do. Because the second you do something different, now just taking a walk doesn't work. So now you're way ahead of where you were if you hadn't taken that walk. And so now you can bring it to the next level. Okay, now we need to add a little more to it. And so to me, that is a win-win-win-win-win. And that's how I look at things, that we're systematically and consistently improving. small, consistent improvements. And most of those improvements, honestly, are happening once we do something and it doesn't work. So again, we have to make the mistake first, usually, to figure out what's not working so that we can do the right thing. Our behaviors either teach us what not to do or what to do. And if we look at it that way, mistakes, they don't have the same level of the same weightiness to them. We have so much impact on us and effect on us. What's up, Joan? How's it going? How do you compare the word discipline with the word strategic? I think a strategic is being more of, I love the 1% better idea. The 1% better idea is so awesome. And I have really been using that a lot in my personal life with home projects. I have found I'm a guy that in the past, all or nothing, I would say. So if there's a project, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to do the whole thing. And it's like, I've really kind of slowed that down where I will I've been painting the same, the trim and doors in the hallway. There's literally 3 doors and trim. It's a small little pass through hallway, but I've been painting them white for the last 2 weeks, but it's like, I'll do it when I get to it. And it's like, I'm doing other things a little bit at a time. And that for me, I like doing projects all in too. Okay. But this is more options. So I have both. So the 1% is really crucial. Strategic and discipline. I think of strategic as being more of a mental plan, and discipline more about execution, if that makes sense. So the way I think about strategic is let's say my worst eating habit is I'm eating at night. So I kind of want to get a strategic approach to resolve that. And so I zoom out and look at the bigger picture. That's how you get strategic. A lot of times we're trained to be tactical with diets. Tactical solution to eating at night is to say, that's it, no more eating at night, right? Tactical is I'll use willpower and stop myself from eating at night now and lose weight. Okay. That's in the moment. You have to be in a great mood. You have to be focused. You got to be able to do it. Okay. And that'll work for a little while, maybe. And eventually you'll go back to doing what you always do. A strategic approach is saying, okay, how can I reduce, remove, or replace this nighttime snacking habit? I want to reduce it or eliminate it. That's my goal here, the calories. And so I want to have a strategic approach to do that. So now I zoom out, look at the big picture, because to be strategic in my world is to be preventative. I don't want to fight against the cravings and desires to eat at night. I want it to be so that I don't even think about them. I mean, that's my ultimate goal. And so I start to go into work on how can I make that happen? And now all of a sudden when I look at it that way, I say, well, my sleep impacts that. My water intake impacts how I'm going to be at night. My nutrition during the day and how satisfied hunger-wise I am at 8 o'clock at night is going to dictate how I eat at night. And so I start paying attention to these things, and more. And then I go to work with the discipline to enact my strategy and then learn and grow from it. So I kind of think of it that way. I think strategic is more of a planning thing. And I think of discipline as more of an execution thing, even though they're intimately related as well. So I hope that makes sense. Let's see here. I see NSW Jewelry Designs. I've lost 30 pounds in the last 6 months by changing how I think and listening to your podcast. That's awesome. Let's take a little screenshot of that. Oh shit, that's not a screenshot. I think I just messed everything up. Did I mess everything up? Oh my goodness gracious me. Did it? Oh, I didn't mess that up. I don't even know where the hell I was. Oh, I see what happened. All right. Enough's enough. What's up, Kelly? Kelly Smiles. That's a new name. I like that. Going to the doctors later, going to see if they suggest pill or shot for weight loss. I don't want either one. They don't take either one. They will suggest it because that's what they do. They suggest pills and shots. That's what doctors do. When the only tool you got is a hammer, everything looks like a nail, and they prescribe medicine. That's their job. Fine. We all love medicine when we need it. I don't think you need it, but that's up for you to decide, But I got caught up taking a screenshot of things. I want to get a screenshot of that, but great job, NSW. Nice job. I love hearing that. 30 pounds is a lot of weight in 6 months. Okay. And I know you did it in a sustainable way. So wonderful. I want you to really internalize that too, because that's part of the process as you move forward, that you're not just losing weight, you're losing it in a way that's going to last. And so I want you to really reflect on not only the amazing 30-pound weight loss accomplishment, but also how amazing it was how you did it. And you've probably never done it this way. And by changing the way you think, it lasts long-term, And so even losing the 30 pounds wasn't that hard. Maintaining it isn't that hard because you've been practicing the whole time focusing on your behaviors. So such a great job. Proud of you. Gail says, hi, Jim, your program rocks. I have to see some patients, but we'll try to hop on soon. Awesome. Thank you, Gail. Appreciate you saying that. Yep, Gail's in the program. Killing it. One of my faves. Yeah, but at the doctors, are they going to suggest a pill or a shot? Yeah. I mean, that's just what they're taught now. They don't have any, doctors don't know anything about weight loss. They really don't, unless they're just personally interested in it or something. Doctors aren't taught about weight loss, weight mastery, So they're just taught now, oh, this year comes out, oh, okay, give them this works, Does it work? I don't know. I got a book coming. I can't wait to share it all with you. It is going to, it looks like a good book, but it's all about Ozempic and what it ends up doing ultimately. Saman K. Malik, I've cut my calories by a lot and I'm still not losing inches. What am I doing wrong? How long have you cut your calories? What's a lot? I need more answers. More input, more information than just cutting calories by a lot. I don't know. And I don't know how long you've been doing it. And I'm still not losing inches. But that's a common saying. I will tell you this. Let me just pick on you a little bit here. And I don't pick on you for a mean reason. I do it because I think it's going to be helpful to you and anyone else who's listening. We tend to do this. We tend to do this thing, right? Because when do we start a diet usually? Like really actually start it? It's usually when we're really in a bad emotional, mental place, physical place, right? We step on the scale, we see a picture of ourselves, we go to the doctors, we're so upset, and we say, that's it, I got to do this. And now we do something extreme. We cut our calories down to 1,200. We cut out carbs completely. We stop eating sugar totally. We stop eating for 16 hours. Do something extreme. And once we start doing that, we start to experience time distortion because now every day feels like a week. Every day you eat like that feels like a week. And now 7 days later, you wait and you finally step on that scale and it's never enough. And all of a sudden you respond what? Very, very, very emotionally on top of it all, right? It's a big old shit pile of emotions is what your whole weight loss is built on usually, folks, okay? It's built on negative emotion after negative emotion after negative emotion after negative emotion until you get to the point you say, hey, fuck it, fuck this. This is not worth it. I'm doing everything right and I'm not losing weight. You ever said that? But I got to tell you, what's really going on when you zoom out and look at it from a distance is you didn't do everything right at all. You drastically cut calories and stressed your body out and yourself out with an unsustainable plan. You did it for way less than you thought you did. Because you're so stressed out, you probably reduced less than you thought you did. And you didn't do it long enough. And you didn't get the results because you can't even keep it up. And so it's like, how many times can you keep doing this to yourself? Folks, how many times? At what point does it work? It's a fucking dumb plan to begin with. So when I hear cut calories by a lot, tell me you cut them down to 500. Let's just go for the fences. Swing for I don't even want to say, I got to watch out for this. They got big old band. I shouldn't say that either. TikTok's going crazy. So yeah, anyways, though, folks, do you ever notice that pattern that you cut calories by a lot or do something drastic? You never lose any weight, even though you did everything perfect and then you quit. If that's something you routinely experience, it might be time. It may be time to consider something else. Like what NSW Jewelry is doing. She lost 30 pounds in 6 months, calmly, easily. Right? She says, thanks. Definitely changed my behavior. And one trick is to always think of at least one great thing I did for my health before I go to sleep. Well, that's a brilliant idea. That's a great idea. And I think you're right on the money because in Program Yourself Thin, that's what we do. Right before we go to bed, we use the Program Yourself Thin technique, 1 2-minute technique, and that's part of it. So yeah, actually appreciating what you did, learning from what you didn't do right. Oh, guess what? It's a recipe for success. If you could imagine. What's up, Shireen? Who is that? Who said that? Put the weight back on. Who was it that said that? Put the weight back on. Who was it said that? It was, oh man, I don't even know. Let me look real quick. I'll tell you. Let me see if I can look up on my browser. I'll see if I can do this. I should like repost this. You know what? I should do like a stitch. I got kind of a rut. I like them. I like making my TikTok videos, but I want to do other ones, but a lot of my extra energy is kind of spent. Why am I not seeing this? A lot of my extra energy is spent on the program right now. Well, what do you know? don't even understand how this, I don't know. It's not showing up here. It was some, Good Morning America consultant. But like I said, I should, maybe I'll look and see that, because it's interesting to watch. It's very sobering for you all considering Ozempic or not. It's a sobering idea from someone who supports the medicine. So I forget. She had blonde hair. She was like a medical consultant for GMA. I was just, thanks. I won't feel so bad that I overate after. There you go, Heather. Yeah, no, I wouldn't feel bad at all. Because again, who gives a shit? I don't give a shit in the short term. You know, what I care more about, Heather, is you putting two and two together. Realizing when I get stressed, I overeat. Oh, I recognized it. Super duper. I went and enacted a strategy. Go for a walk. It didn't work. I overate. Who gives? I don't give a shit. Great. You're learning from it. Who cares? We got to get ourselves out of the mindset of your success depending on your willpower and your ability to fight against yourself. So if you're stressed out and all you want to do is eat, if you think your success in that situation is to fight against that stress and desire to overeat, that's you think your success, forget it. The real success is, how do I deal with the stress? So that's what you're learning, though. That's what you're learning. My God. I'm not saying this to you, Heather, but it's like people, they just don't want to learn. And I get that. Ben Franklin said that. He said the hardest work to do is the hardest work there is thinking. That's why so few people do it. It's true, right? Our brain doesn't want to think. Our brain just wants to do what we did and everything to be easy. So I'm not judging it. We're all like that. I'm like that. But when we change and create new things, it's effort. It's effort. It's funny. Weight loss marketing has really been built around dumb shit. And I have to apologize. I actually got a feedback yesterday. I'm going to write to this person because I really appreciated it. But one of the things they wrote to me is that my marketing is kind of dumb. And I was like, you know what? You're right. My marketing has been designed by marketers. So I apologize for anyone who's gone through that and hasn't liked it. I'm going to change it. So that's next on the list. I'm putting the finishing touches on the new version of the program, which is mwah. It's so good. But yeah, so my marketing will get better. So just bear with me. I'm going in there and realizing what was being done, and I am taking full accountability and responsibility for it. And I don't like how it's been done. So I'm going to change that. But anyways, no one's talking about that, but I wanted to bring it up because it bothered me. What's up, Deanna? Sorry, I missed what was the Ozempic thing. The Ozempic thing it was a Good Morning America. Someone had sent me this clip. And it was, she must have been like a medical, I don't watch that show, but she must have been a medical correspondent, and she was just talking about Ozempic. Like, what do you do once you get to your goal weight? And she basically was just like, oh, you put the weight back on, and just had like zero insight for what to do there. And so, the best thing she had to offer was like, hey, it was medicine was kind of designed for type 2 diabetics, so it was designed to be on forever potentially. But then what I do love is like smart ass people talking about things, because they talk about it like she's a scientist. I'm not a scientist, and I struggle to see things that way. But, she's clearly a science brain. And when scientific people look at things, it's so enlightening. It's so smart. I've learned, again, the psychology experiments I've seen these people set up are just so brilliant. And anyways, the point I thought was very sobering is her talking about how the weight is a chronic condition, and no one's thinking about that. Like in even her words, she never articulated a solution. She just defined the problem that most people experience, which is that their overweightness is a chronic condition. And she never goes on to say, the real solution to this is to, transform your mind. So transform your lifestyle, transform your way of eating in a sustainable way for the rest of your life. She did not mention that. Don't even know if that idea exists anywhere in her brain or within 1,000 yards of it, for all I know. She looks at the problem. Everyone's overweight and struggles to lose it, and everything comes out of that idea. It's the definition of problem-oriented thinking, which is one of my problems with science sometimes, is that it seems to get so fixated on the problem, describing it and understanding it, that I think sometimes where I'm able to come in is saying, what's the solution? What's the solution? And I think in that way, having an outlier outside of the scientific community can sometimes bring insights into things. That's what I like to think anyways. Adam the jeweler, if you try something and fail, you only learn a way that doesn't work. You make progress. Yeah, 1,000%. I think that's so important. That attitude is so important. I don't know. It's the cornerstone foundation of my entire existence. So I don't know. Thanks, Chocolate Tech. Appreciate that. What's up, Baja? I'm on my second day of not eating in the car. Hey, nice job, Baja. Nice job. And remember, when we get to the second day, yes, we want it to go on forever. But first, we have two goals. The first goal, of course, you want it to go on forever. I never ate my car ever again. That's great. Cool if that happens. But what's even more important is that we want to learn how you didn't eat in the car. How'd you think? How'd you feel? What were the strategies you used to not eat in the car? And how does it feel when you don't eat in the car? Those are the things we want to stay focused on, because there's a good chance you may eat in the car again. See, we got to get ourselves out of the streak thinking of dieting, the all or nothing, because a lot of people, oh, I got 6 days without eating in the car. Then I ate in the car and I blew it. No, you didn't blow it. You 6 days of not eating in the car, 6 days of strategy, 6 days of being the person who doesn't eat in the car, 6 days of feeling all the effects of not eating in the car. So it's not just, 6 days, now it's gone. It's 6 days. Holy shit, I did it. It wasn't that hard. How can I do this even easier, more enjoyably? I slipped up a little bit. That happened there because of that. And now I know that. So now I got a strategy that, avoids that problem. You see? So great job, Badger, though. I'm very proud of you. That's a big deal. A big deal. Nicole Maurice, 30 pounds in 2 months for me. Holy moly. That's a lot of weight. 30 pounds in 2 months. Now, what's funny? I will tell you, this is a funny thing about weight loss is, I was just talking about someone who's been listening to the podcast and changing their mindset and lost 30 pounds in 6 months. And so it would not surprise me in the least if the person who lost 30 pounds in 6 months is like, oh shit, it took me 6 months. And that person lost it in 2 months. Stop doing that. Because first of all, and I'm proud of you for losing 30 pounds in 2 months. Amazing. However, this isn't to be negative. Okay. This is not negative. It's just reality. Okay. You probably did something extreme to lose 15 pounds a month. To lose 3.5 pounds a week, you must have done something pretty extreme. And now I don't know how much weight you want to lose, but at some point you're going to have to keep that up if you want to maintain your weight loss. So I know dieters have the biggest FOMO of anyone. And you hear someone you could lose 30 pounds. It took you 6 months. You feel amazing. You hear someone did it in 2 months. What'd you do? What did you do? Tell me what you did. I'm going to start doing it. No, don't fucking do that, because it's something extreme. I can guarantee you to lose 3.5 pounds a week is an outlier result. See, I want you all to do this. And again, I'm not Nicole. I'm proud of you. Great for you. Okay. And if you all want to do what Nicole did, great for you. That's fine too. But I want you to do it with your eyes open. When I hear a 30-pound and 2-month weight loss, my first reaction isn't, tell me what you did. I got to know. My first reaction is, I bet it was something extreme that's going to be hard to sustain. That's my first reaction. If you all started to react this way, you would free yourself. It's your first step out of the fucking diet prison that you're in. Because 3.5 pounds a week is something extreme. It's probably 1,200 calories a day, 0 carbs, never going out. It's something extreme, I'm telling you. And it's something that's going to be hard to keep up long term. And that's just the facts of it. Listen, we live in a world of cause and effect. If you want to lose weight fast, you got to do extreme things. If you want to lose weight sustainably, we want to do slower things that we internalize and habituate, that we can do pretty much on autopilot. And that's it. That's pretty much your choices. And tough shit. Tell me that's not true. Tell me that's not true. You show me where that's not true. You show me someone who loses 3-4 pounds a week in a way that's sustainable and comfortable. You let me know that. And SW said, I didn't do anything extreme, eating way more food than I used to. Never hungry, eating good food. Yeah, well, there you go. Do you hear that? Do you hear that, folks? But that's slow weight loss. That's only 30 pounds. It's that's only, right? I can hear you guys thinking. I can hear your thinking. 30 pounds in 6 months. Shit. That's only 5 pounds. That's only 5 pounds a month. That's slow. Yeah, but she's eating way more food than I used to. You hear this? You hear it? Did you hear that part? Yeah, Dervet, what's up? Dervet knows about extreme things. Dervet's doing as extreme a thing as I've seen. It's I don't want to say it's impressive. It's impressive that you can do that. I believe that, because I think it's hard. It's hard to do what Dervet's doing over here. She says, totally true. It's extreme, but it requires mental toughness at maintenance. Just depends on your mind. How much mental toughness, though? My plan doesn't take that much mental toughness. It takes resilience, I will say, but I am not existing on willpower. I'm not struggling. I'm not fighting with myself. I'm not extreme in it. I do things that I've consistently developed skill sets for. So I'm kind of in the flow. Now, you can be in the flow with tough things, though, too. But the problem with being in flow with tough things that we really have to be really fixated and focused on to do is that fucking life comes at you when you least expect it and kicks you in the gut. That's when the mental toughness is real hard to find. And I don't know. I find a lot of people have life kicking them in the gut quite a bit. It's a gut kicking life we live in. It's a wonderful life too. I love life, but let's be honest, there's challenges around every corner. So that mental toughness, if that's what we're relying on, that's one thing to rely on. I'd rather rely on my subconscious mind, what I do automatically. Even when life's tough, I can still maintain this. But that's why, as my mom said, we have 21 flavors of ice cream at the ice cream store because we're all different. So we all get to choose what works best for us. The speed of weight loss is not impressive. It's how long you keep it off. Well, I agree with that wholeheartedly, Don. I agree with that. Shireen, gotcha. Truth and facts anyway. Yep. What's up, Tabby? How's it going? Your new name cracks me up, Tabby. Tabby wants to lose weight, but she got changed her name to Chocolate Cakey 777. I'd be thinking of chocolate cake every day. Change my name to Flaky Croissant. Change my name to Brick Oven Pizza Jim. I'll be eating pizza all day. I'm just teasing you. Deanna says, yep, fucking life. It is like that. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying though. But that's the maintenance. And again, everyone, listen, dieters, I'm going to stitch this. I'll do a stitch with this video because you got to see it because it's just, I'm so glad the person sent it to me. Thank you for sending it to me because it was, it's like what I'm talking about every day, but just from a different angle. And it's very interesting. It's very eye-opening because you never hear the side of weight loss and what are you doing to get there? No one thinks about that. The entire diet industry is literally the weight loss industry, you know? And yeah. Joan says motivation is so much better than willpower. Absolutely. And it's motivation. It's neural networks. Okay. Again, no one looks at weight loss this way, but like I look at it through the lens of guitar. That guitar, it's like I can learn something logically. Like I can understand, like, oh, those are the chords of the song. Oh, I got you. Okay. But knowing the chords and being able to play them so it sounds like the song are two different things. And the first time I go and play this song, it sounds a little bit like the song, but it takes the muscle memory, the neural connections of, oh, okay, I got the timing and I'm playing it. Now it sounds like the song. Now it's got the subtleties of it. I can't do that on the first day. Maybe someday I'll be able to, but even if I'm able to ever do it, it's because I've developed so much neural connections and networks of playing the guitar that I can now pick up a new song, blah, 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 blah. I'm not there yet. And so when it comes to weight loss, so it's the same thing. We're developing neural networks, behavioral patterns, habits of being a thin and healthy person. And there is a time factor to it. And so we work on something and we get better at it. And then it starts to become automated and that frees up more energy so we can learn something new, automate it. It runs on autopilot. We work on something new. And after you keep doing that, you develop skill sets and habits and your toothbrushing habit is an example of this. You learned how to do it. It took a lot of reinforcement, but now you just do it on autopilot. So if you start structuring your, sort of big ass crash. That sounded scary. I think it was a car accident. Jeez. And then it was silent. Never like to hear that. Anyways, yeah. So, yeah, it says vacations, birthdays, sick parent, change in routines. It goes on and on. Hard to sustain the extreme stuff, and then we get demotivated. That's Deanna. She's in the program. She's a sharp one, but can you all hear that? Y'all got to all hear that. Do you hear that? I'm going to say it one more time because this is what I'm talking about. This is the theme of today, right? It's kind of, I'm glad we got on this one, but vacations, birthdays, sick parents, changing routines. It goes on and on. Hard to sustain the extreme stuff. And then we get demotivated. Has that ever happened to anyone? Has that ever been like one of the things that may have derailed you? So we can't we can't just imagine, we can't just take on weight loss as if everything's always going to be perfect. We have to prepare for shitty times. And I know that people don't want to do that because I know that when I ask people that are losing weight what they plan to do once they get to their goal weight, or if they hit any challenges, they freak out. So again, it's just, you need to prepare for that. What's up, Joy? How's it going? Dawn's taking her walk. Good for her. Astrid, what's up, Astrid? I'm on the bike again after a week since the injections in my knees. Oh, nice. Are the knees feeling better? Take it easy with them. You know that already, though, but that's good. Back on, yes, learn about failure and feedback. Nice. Good job, Baja. Aquila Fleming, I've lost 30 pounds since July 18, 2023, but now I've hit a plateau. Any suggestions to lose more weight? Great job. Nice job. That's wonderful. And I love that weight loss. Again, I'm biased. I wear my bias proudly. I'm more impressed by slower weight loss than faster weight loss because I think it's going to last longer. That's simple. Because if you can, since July, I mean, it's almost a year to lose 30 pounds. What that means is I know you're working on your mindset. I know the things you're doing to lose the weight are sustainable, right? Because even if you keep it up for a year, wonderful. I know your weight loss has been dreadfully slow. I know people freaking out. 30 pounds in a year. Fuck that. I want to lose 30 pounds in a month. And if I can't, I'm just going to stay the same weight. Right? Is that not what people think deep down? I love that. That's so funny to me. 30 pounds in a year. Oh, that's too slow. Fuck that. I'm just going to stay the same weight. Thank you very much. Let's just call a duck, right? So great job, Aquila. That's great. So you're in a nice spot. You got a nice foundation, but now you're at a plateau. Okay. So I don't know how far you are away from your goal weight. That's my first question is where's your goal weight at? How much more weight do you want to lose before you get there? That's first question, because if you're 100 pounds away or if you're 10 pounds away, my answer would be a lot different. Right. But what I will suggest is this, that when people hit a plateau, it's a great thing. And I love being in plateaus because that's really allows you to practice your maintenance. The goal is to be in an ultimate plateau, to be at the same weight forever. So plateaus are great practice for that. But then you can look at what you're doing to maintain the plateau. And then you can strategically look and say, where would be the best place for me to cut some calories out? Where would be the best place in my day, in my week to cut some more calories out? Do that and then see what happens. All right. What's up, Carrie says? Neoloism, how's it going? Hi, Jim. Any suggestions to help very young kids who emotionally overeat? 7 years old. I do not. I don't really work with kids, so I don't really have much suggestion on that front. All I can say is that, emotional overeating is the same for everyone in that it's very easy in this society, and we're actually conditioned to use food as our main emotional management strategy. So I think one of the best things you can do is help them identify what the emotions they're feeling. Again, I'm telling you straight out, this is Mr. Rogers talking right now. I count as a blessing in my life that I was able to grow up with Mr. Rogers because he was the greatest, just one of the greatest public figures we've ever had, certainly in the media era, just such a pure soul. But he really did want to help kids deal with emotions. And I'm really thankful I had him as a foundation. But so I think it's the idea that, we go through life and experience all sorts of emotions, good ones and bad ones. And when we experience the unpleasant ones, we want to be present with them, acknowledge them, and then ask ourselves, how do I want to feel and how can I feel that way? And the food's not going to do that. The food becomes an instant distraction. It's a quick fix for a moment, but it makes everything worse. And so, if you're able to communicate that in some way, that may be the path I would take. Whether you use those words or not is another story. What's up, Brianna? Doing all the work and what I need to do, but just so overweight and discouraged because I look awful. I don't even recognize myself anymore. Well, this is a common thing, right? When it comes to the weight, we get so fixated on where we're at that it just drags us down. We just feel so shitty about where we got ourselves to, where we're at, that it just destroys all of our motivation, confidence, ability to take action, seemingly. True. It's true, right? Or just saying it out loud. And so, hey, listen, sometimes I don't have answers, not easy answers anyways. I mean, I have an answer to that whole thing, but it takes a bigger commitment than just something I could just say in a sentence. But I think the way you get to real solutions is you have to look at the problem honestly, accurately. And so, yeah, it's difficult because I think everyone to some degree deals with that. And especially the more weight you have to lose, the further you let yourself go, the worse this whole thing is. Like you are just angry with yourself. You regret that you did it. It's just a lot of negative emotions that can wrap us up and trap us up, really. So, yeah, how do you fix that? I mean, there's a lot of ways. I think you're not even gonna like what I say, but just stick with me for 1 second. I think starting by focusing on loving yourself really is, in my opinion, the secret. And I know you're not gonna love how you look. Like, I think people say that, and I think they're bullshitting themselves a lot of times where it's like, oh, you gotta love yourself and love yourself. But I think what people do is they can't love themselves. It sounds great to love yourself, and you should, sure. All of us say that. But can you love yourself? Do you really love yourself? Because if you fucking hate yourself 24 hours a day, 7 days a week because of how you look, how you just all of a sudden flip that around and then love yourself? Nah, I don't think that works well. But you can start to develop love for yourself. And I think what you have to do is you have to start with your functionality, meaning I know you don't like how you look, but do you have eyes that can see me? Do you have ears that can hear this? Do you have hands that work? Can you walk? Can you move? Do you have a body that works in most ways? Because if you do, it's nice to kind of tap into the gratitude for that. I think that's a genuine way to start feeling and developing some love for yourself. Stop just focusing on how you look. I think the more you all focus on how you look, the more you trap yourselves. I genuinely feel that way till it gets to the point where, you feel so bad about how you look that you can't do anything, you know? And I think as well, Brianna, I think, or Brianna, I don't know if you say it Brianna or Brianna, but I think also there's a little bit of incongruency what you're saying. You're saying I'm doing all the work and what I need to do, but just so overweight and discouraged because I look awful. I don't think you could do all the work and everything you needed to do if you feel completely discouraged and awful. I don't think it's possible. I don't think I don't think you can operate at your highest and do everything you need to do and all the work you need to do when you're at your lowest. How does that work? I don't believe it's possible. And so I feel like dealing with this issue is important, really important. And I always say this, you can't hate yourself healthy. I rarely see hating yourself being a successful motivator to get to your goal weight long term. So I would take a step back and really reflect on this whole thing. And I'd make it less about how I look and more about how long I'm going to live, my quality of life while I'm alive, and who I want to be as a person. What's up, Mark? Intermittent fasting worked so much for me physically to lose weight, but after being consistent for 1 month, I break. Yeah. So again, what helps you to lose weight is oftentimes very different from what helps you to maintain the weight. You don't have to be very smart to know that. You don't have to have, a dieting degree, a degree in, physiology to know that weight loss is different than weight maintenance. And what people mostly do is extreme things to lose weight, and they have no idea how to maintain it, none at all. So again, if you have a strategy that helps you lose weight, but you can't stick with it for more than a month, that to me that's a weight loss strategy and not a weight mastery strategy. And then I don't care about it. I don't care about it. So what I would do is I would look at the intermittent fasting that I used for weight loss, and I would say, how can I scale it back a little bit so that I actually can do it more than a month? Oh, but my weight loss is going to be slower. Yeah, well, it's already fucking slower because if you zoom out past the 1 month when you lose weight and we incorporate the second 2 months, what happens to your weight? Right? Am I crazy looking at it this way? Am I some crazy person? Am I ruining the party? Should we just focus on the month you actually do it and lose weight? Or should we zoom out and look at the big picture, the full picture? Right? So we all got to do that. We got to look at it. If we have a strategy that helps us lose weight for a month that we can't keep up, that's a weight loss strategy. I don't give a shit about it. Who cares? Who cares? Unless you like gaining, losing weight. If that's what you like doing, then I'm not trying to ruin that party. That's a great way to do it. But if you want to master your weight, the way you're IFing now is not working long term. And so gasp, you'd have to pull it back and maybe do 14 hours or 12 hours, or, oh my God, maybe you just do it a couple days a week or whatever. But then I'll lose weight slower. Ah, but then my weight loss won't be as fast, Jim. Yeah, not for that month, but then you'll fucking be able to do it for the next 10 months. Arg. I'm joking with you, Hermark. I'm not picking on you, but it's just this, the dieter mindset. You know what I mean? Like I'm interfacing with it all day long. And, it's funny like that. Astros, I lost 30 pounds in a week. You know that? All right. Imagine that one. Quick. Unless it's great advice. Thank you. You're welcome. And by the way, if you're not in my world yet, make sure you go to my bio, click the link, get the hypnosis session I give you, watch the video I made for you. It's going to help you out. I send you emails every day. I'm here to help you out. So go get that. It's free. It's all free. And the sooner you do it, the sooner you can potentially find a much better way to manage your weight. Who knows? But if you don't, it didn't cost you anything. It's a little bit of time and you got to relax. Mark says, perhaps I felt so guilty that I was consistent for days and breaks my fast. I'm sure your guilt has something to do with it. Absolutely. Guilt and shame are not great, helpers along the path to weight mastery. I will tell you this, not great, even though they're most common. They ain't used too much. Neoloism, you're absolutely right. We are hypnotized. Yes, we are. We're all hypnotized. Someone wrote to me yesterday, said, I don't think I can be hypnotized, Jim. I think I'm one of those people who just can't be hypnotized. I tried, it doesn't work. And it's like, nope, you can be hypnotized, and you're hypnotized right now. We're all hypnotized. There's not a person on the planet who's not hypnotized. We have hypnotic brains. And so we're all hypnotized. You might be hypnotized to think that junk food and fast food is the most pleasurable thing in the world. You might be hypnotized to realize that eating healthy foods and weighing what you want is the most pleasurable thing in the world. They're both states of hypnosis. We don't go through our lives constantly thinking logically about every single thing we're doing and deciding on. Most of the decisions we're making are being made in the background based on our hypnosis that we're in. And I use hypnosis as just another word for our subconscious programming. You're in a trance right now, folks. If you're overweight, you're in an overweight trance. If you're at your goal weight, you're at a goal weight trance. It's kind of that simple. Like it really is. So anyways, Catlin, did you just sign up for the program? That might be someone else. Someone has 2 Ks in their name and they had an issue. I'm going to get to you today. If that's you with the emails, I apologize. I'll fix that. And sometimes my system's a little finicky with the emails. It's annoying, but I apologize for that. Caitlin says 2 pounds away from losing 60 pounds in the last 15 months. All right. There we go. I like that a lot. 60 pounds in 15 months. That's wonderful. That's a wonderful weight loss rate. 15 months is the thing. My eyes go to the 15 months. If you told me you lost 30 pounds in 15 months, 20 pounds in 15 months, I'm more impressed with that than losing 60 pounds in 2 months, 30 pounds in 3 months. Okay. I think that's a great rate. And congratulations. Nice job. That's wonderful. 15 months is nice. Yeah. When you all start getting past the year mark, now you're in the game. You're in the game no matter what you're doing. Wonderful job. Bree says going to Egypt, but need to be less than 220 to ride camels, need to lose 83 pounds in 94 weeks. Unreasonable? No, not at all. Not at all. Let me think here. 83 pounds in 94 weeks. Yeah, you got 2 years, about 2 years to lose 83 pounds. I think that's perfect numbers. I think that's wonderful. It's a wonderful goal. Nice time frames. I think everything's wonderful about that. You're already in the program, so you know what to do. And now, Bree, I'm going to tell you something. Send me an email and I will give you a week of coaching. All right. So you can get on a call and we can talk about that if you'd like. Because I would use this as a big goal frame for myself. Now I would have smaller goals within this. I'm not just gonna have one 94 week goal, folks. I wouldn't do that. That would be a horrible idea because your brain discounts the future. So if you set some 94 week goal, it's fine to have that as a goal. Okay. But not the only goal. We need to break it up into smaller pieces that seem a lot closer to us as well. Okay. But yeah, Brie, if you want to talk about that, I'd be happy to get you on a coaching call so we can do that. Because that would help you reach it even more effectively. But yeah, do that. And I think that's a wonderful goal. You can do that comfortably. You can do it in a way where you set yourself up for long-term success. And I think that's great. Very reasonable. Yeah, Carrie said, I know you're feeling better. Absolutely. Yep. Astra says don't get pressure on yourself. True. But that's a goal I think you could legitimately do. And plus, you know what? Honestly, worst case scenario, you only lose 60 pounds. You can't ride a fucking camel. So what? Who cares? You're still 60 pounds down. Right. So it's like, I want you to ride the camel too. But again, what's more important is that you master your weight. You get this whole area of your life sorted out and figured out. And a 2-year goal is wonderful for that. I think that's absolutely. And I think you can lose weight comfortably that way, you know? And signs have lost 16 kilograms in 8 months, but the last few kilograms are not shedding anymore. Yeah, getting to that final weight is I've really come to believe that a lot of it's mindset. It's tactical too. You got to change up sometimes what you've been doing. I think for people within 10, 15 pounds, it's like a different plan. That is another one on the docket is, I have a program called the First 5 Pounds, which I don't even sell, but I got to make that available for everyone. But I got another program on the docket, the last 10 pounds, because that is a whole different game than the first ones. But great job again, 16 kilograms in 8 months. This is making me so happy. I'm really happy that people sharing me their what I consider to be, and who am I? I'm just one guy, who gives a shit. But I think these are much better rates of success. I like them because I'm hearing long term. I'm hearing anything over 6 months, I think is great. And so, yeah, about 32 pounds, 35 pounds in 8 months, I think is a wonderful. The last few kilograms are not shedding anymore. Again, there's a couple of reasons for that. What I would suggest is get on my email list at least, and that'll help you because what I talk about really right from the beginning is really your maintenance level and your maintenance weight where you want to be. What happens for a lot of dieters is as you approach your goal weight, this is the mindset piece of it. As you approach your goal weight, you're actually freaking out because you know how to be overweight, you know how to diet, but you do not know how to live as a thin, healthy person. A lot of dieters subconsciously keep themselves 5, 10, 15 pounds over their goal weight so they can stay in a perpetual state of dieting because they're scared to death of not dieting because that's the only way they know how to have any chance of controlling their weight. So I don't know if that is a part of what's going on with you, but if it is, make sure you get on my list and read some of the stuff I say. Louise says the companies who make junk food are the same companies that got people addicted to tobacco. Hey, absolutely true. Absolutely true. The food companies are the cigarette companies. The Nabisco and RJR Reynolds are literally merged together as the same company. The parent company of Kraft is Philip Morris. So this is true. That's a true one. What do you think about diet soda? I don't love diet soda. But that being said, I think of everything on a spectrum. So I think water is over here is the best thing you can drink. Maybe coffee, tea right over here. What else? Those carbonated or waters with some flavor, natural flavors in them, maybe over here. Diet sodas over here. Regular sodas maybe over here. And I'm not even sure about this. I'm not really sure if the diet sodas are better or worse than the sodas. But I put them over here on the, I don't want to drink them line. So again, we got water over here, kind of coffee, tea over here, non-caffeinated tea maybe over here, flavored waters, some bullshit Gatorade drinks, water, things like that maybe, and then soda and diet soda. So that's what I think about it. I think that liquid calories, your body doesn't process liquid calories. So I never want to drink my calories. But Jim, diet soda doesn't have any calories in it. Well, I know, but it's got artificial sweeteners in it. And putting artificial sweeteners in my body all the time, I don't want to do, not because of cancer, but because it calibrates my tongue to a very highly unnatural sweetened flavor profile. So if I'm drinking a diet soda and then I go and eat an apple or a banana, it's going to taste very bland and boring. If I drink some water and then I go and eat an apple or banana, it tastes exciting. It's good. And that is going to have a huge impact on how I eat. So yeah, diet sodas for me, I don't want to drink because it's just throwing a fucking bomb on my tongue and it's making everything difficult for me to eat well. If I start eating a lot of hyper palatable processed foods, it makes it way harder to eat healthier natural foods because they seem boring and bland to you now. And so that makes everything harder. So that's why I would not drink diet soda. What do you think about alternate day fasting? I don't think very much about it because I think for most people it's unsustainable and very difficult. If you love doing it, like you started doing it, you're like, holy shit, this is the secret to living a happy life. I feel amazing. I look forward to it. I just can't get enough of this alternate day fasting. I wish I'd started this decades earlier, I love it, then you do it. But if you're like most people and it's like, just a big bomb going off in your every other day, a big bomb going off in your life, and you hate it and you dread it and it's difficult and you feel faint and it's harder to work and you feel like shit, then I wouldn't do it. So it depends on how it feels for you. Alternate day fasting is just a tactic. All you have to do to lose it, to limit your goal weight, you have to reduce your average calorie consumption to that of your goal weight. And there's a lot of ways to do that. But once you realize that's what we're doing and you open up your mind to realize there's a lot of ways to do it, you figure out the way that works best for you. And that's what Program Yourself 10 is all about. What's Emma? Emma says, how many steps per day or minutes walking do you think is a good place to start? I think this depends on where you're starting from. If you're starting like I was a couple years ago, I was averaging 3,500 steps a day. Pretty low. That's about as low as we're going to get. We could get lower, 2,000, so it's relative to where you're starting from. So if you're starting at 3,000 steps, I think an initial goal is 5,000 steps. Nice, right? Do that for a week. See how you feel. And then you can boost it up to 7,000. Anything over 7,000 is a good spot. That 10,000 just has a nice ring to it. 10,000 is great, but 7,000 is really kind of that tipping point where you're going to get a lot more benefits, so I think it is 7,000 kind of being the kind of ultimate goal. And then the ultimate might be 10K, but I would start where I'm at and build up slowly. There's no need to go from 2,000 steps to 10,000. You're just asking for trouble, there's no rush here. So again, I don't give a shit about walking 10,000 steps for 10 days in a row. I care about walking 10,000 steps consistently for the rest of my life. So I like to look at things that way. So, Louise, thoughts on carnivore diet? I think the carnivore diet is the silliest one I've seen so far. I don't understand the theory behind that. But Jim, the science, the test results are amazing. I mean, maybe in the short term, because, you're taking people that might be 200 pounds overweight and have all sorts of metabolic disorder stuff going on because they're way overeating, and they start losing weight and the meat is healthier than what they were eating. And so that's going to look healthier. But a sustained carnivore diet, to me, I would never, ever, never, ever do for myself. I believe that saturated fat's a problem. I think eating that amount of meat is strange. I think that I'm not a carnivore. I've seen my dog's digestive tract and I've seen what my digestive tract looks like. It doesn't look like a carnivore's digestive tract. My teeth, I don't have teeth of a carnivore. But Jim, we're humans. We're able to do that. We're able to process that. I don't think exclusively humans are built to be carnivores, personally. No, we've been duped. We were always carnivores, and then it's only been it's 10,000 years we've been duped. Now we're eating. Huh? Then why don't I have fangs? Why do I have why is my intestinal tract so long if we were duped? Duped? How? Maybe you've been duped, So I think the carnivore diet is just one bro extension past keto. And I think it's short-term focused. I think people that are carnivore only are not going to be on it for long. I think most of the carnivore people I feel are goofy, even though they present as smart. One I think is that Saladino guy who puts himself as a medical doctor. He's technically a psychiatrist, but he's just wild. And he's a big carnivore diet guy. And last I knew, he was talking about the health benefits of eating a lot of ice cream. It's just people get wild. I don't know. I don't trust them. I don't believe them. I believe in fruits and vegetables, greens, beans, legumes, whole grains. I believe that's a great foundation for a diet. I've got nothing against eating meat. If you want to eat meat, knock yourselves out. I eat fish occasionally. It's high quality fish. And it's primarily fruits, vegetables, greens, beans. That's what I believe. I'm Dr. Greger all the way. So I'm brainwashed, I guess, in that direction. But I think there's a lot of evidence. I think if you look at all the civilizations in the world, I think you're going to find most of them were eating fruits, vegetables, greens, beans, and meat too. Fine. But I think you're going to find very few thriving societies that consisted only of meat, the diet only of meat. And if you know about them all, shoot me a message because I'm always looking to learn. Let me know. Diet soda probably worse because of the artificial sweetener, Shirley. Yeah, I think so. I don't think the sugar is great because now you got a sweet, high profile and calories. And I don't think the artificial sugar is good either. I think the diet soda makes you hungrier because sweetness triggers, you can look at a cheesecake. If you've eaten cheesecake before, you look at a cheesecake, your body just looking at it, your body will start to release more insulin in anticipation of you spiking your blood sugar by eating that cheesecake. And so now what happens is you look at the cheesecake and your insulin starts to lower your glucose levels and you start to feel hungrier. And so now it drives the craving for the cheesecake. So with a diet soda, you're putting the sweetness into your body. And I'm worried about the signals it sends to your body. Oh, here comes calories. Here comes some sweetness. I don't know. Why wouldn't it? So, it's up for everyone to decide what they want to do, though. What about OMAD? I think clearly eating less. Well, Venus, these are extreme plans you're talking about. OMAD, alternate day fasting, these are extreme things for the average person. So yeah, you'll eat less and you'll lose quickly. But the question is, how long are you do that for? How are you gonna do OMAD when you go outside and when you have a normal life? When you don't sequester yourself in your apartment and don't ever go out with anyone or see anyone, how are you gonna do OMAD? Is that really I just to lose the weight? Okay, well, what are you gonna do once you lose the weight? You just want to put the weight back on? So again, I'm more, instead of doing again, the diets is they're always trying to hit grand slams, right? You're trying to lose the weight all at once. And I don't know how many times you tried doing it, but you take these drastic swings at trying to lose weight that you can't keep up for even a couple days. It just seems like a silly plan to me. So I'd rather strategically and systematically aim to reduce my calorie consumption in a way that I can keep up long-term. So I'm weird like that. Louis says, do you think raw milk and raw eggs are good or necessary? I don't really drink much milk. I don't really see I'm not a baby cow. So I don't really see the need for putting much milk in my body. I believe milk for most people is inflammatory. Majority of people on the earth are lactose intolerant to some degree. That's a fascinating, I was shocked when I found that 100% of Asians, I don't know if it's 100 anymore because it's whatever, but vast majority of Asians are lactose intolerant. Vast majority, over 75% of African Americans, lactose intolerant. So it's what you eat, a lot of it is genetic, what you can process, but yeah, raw eggs, I don't know. I would never eat a raw egg myself. So I don't want to eat raw eggs. I'll cook my eggs, but that's me. I'm not an expert at that stuff though either. So I guess I would take what I'm saying with that shit with a grain of salt for sure. What do you think about nuts? I love nuts. I like raw nuts though. I think nuts are very dangerous in this society because the second you roast those motherfuckers, forget about it. Watch out. You could eat 1,000 calories in nuts like it was nothing. And I've been there. Oh my God. Get away from me. You get me salted, roasted nuts. I will eat literally that entire, we used to get them growing up. We'll get the jar, that big jar with it feels cool. And it's yeah, I just, every time I walk in the house, every time I walk by them, I go grab a handful. And they're so calorie intense. And it's something about the oil as well. It makes it easy to overeat them, but a holy macaroni. So yeah, you got to be careful with the nuts when they're processed, when they're roasted, salted, and all the bullshit they put on them now. But I eat raw almonds. I eat walnuts raw. I like raw nuts a lot. A lot less exciting, a lot more bland, but I think they're great. And they're a big part of my diet. Kelly says, I'm trying to quit soda. I think it destroys a lot of our microbiome. I agree. I agree too. I would say, Kelly, here's just a reframe. And I know no one likes their words picked apart, but I like doing this is, I'm trying to quit soda. I like to reframe as I'm cutting my soda consumption down to the point of eliminating it completely. Just because try implies failure. And I know it's just a semantical word, but it makes a difference in how you speak. So I'm trying to quit soda. I mean, you're either trying or you're doing it. And I know you're doing it. Right. So use better language. I'm actively reducing my soda. See, sometimes we don't want to say that because we're scared. We're scared if we say I'm actually cutting the soda down, that we're going to get hit with this other rebellious part of us that's going to whack us to go drink it all the next day. But that's something you got to work through. But I think you're right. I don't think it's very good for your microbiome at all that bullshit. The soda's awful, by the way. Something I recently learned is, you don't realize this, but a 12-ounce can of soda has 16 packets of sugar in it. 16 packets of sugar. And they said, well, shit, it doesn't taste that sweet. Yeah, because it's so caffeinated. The caffeine's so bitter, it hides how much sugar is actually in it. But this in a nutshell is the problem with most processed and certainly ultra processed foods, is that you're not getting a clear message of what the fuck you're putting in your body. You're being tricked. It's wolves in sheep's clothing. It's sugar in non-sweet clothing. And we know it's sweet, but it's way sweeter than it seems, because go put 16 packets of sugar in your tea, in your coffee, and let me know how that tastes. And you're like, oh my God. So again, you're being manipulated and tricked by the sodas to not experience the full sweetness of the sugar content because it's so bitter. So it's tricking you. But yeah, it's fucking your microbiome too. It says, so in other words, opt to eat more healthier. And when you're hungry, I'm trying to cut off sugar, soda, and bread as well. Yeah, Venus. I mean, I am saying eat more healthier for sure. And when you're hungry, I'm trying to cut off sugar and soda and bread as well. I mean, I know, like, again, I know you want to get fast results, Venus. I get that, right? Who doesn't? But I guess I'm suggesting think longer term and don't worry how much weight you can lose this month. Think about how much weight can I lose this year if I slowly and systematically start to reduce my calories, start to reduce the sodas. Not all the sodas necessarily. Maybe you really like soda. So keep a soda for fun nights on Friday night or Saturday night when you're hanging out. Drink a sodas then. What? I have to, you know what I mean? I know, like, program yourself then. We have a structured eating plan, which is there's clean eating days, pleasure eating days. Yeah, pleasure eating days. How do I get the most pleasure possible out of food? That's what we go for. What? I'll eat everything, Jim. That's a horrible plan. I could never do that. Yeah, because you don't know what I'm talking about. You don't know how to eat for pleasure. You don't know how to structure it. But when you do, you can have your sodas, you can have your bread. You can't eat as much of it. You've got to compress your eating of it for sure. But you can do that strategically in a way that's comfortable, where for the rest of your life, you can still drink soda and eat bread and live at your goal weight. It's not rocket science. It's compressing those behaviors down to a smaller, you're doing it probably every day. We compress down to 2 days a week. And the other days when you're not eating it, we're optimizing the health there. And then when you drink the sodas, again, enjoy the shit out of them, but don't go crazy with them. I consume sugar pretty much mostly on the weekend. Occasionally I'll have it during my clean days after dinner. Sometimes it's been a little looser lately. Get a summer mood. I got the ice cream gremlins running around my head. So I've been eating a little more desserts on the clean days than I normally do. But most of my sugar intake and my alcohol intake is compressed into the weekend. And so I treat sugar, carbs, refined carbs, alcohol, all very similarly. And I usually, most weeks, I compress that consumption into the weekend for me. Those are my pleasure days. So I still do all those things, but I just do a lot less than I used to. And it feels okay. I'm okay with that because, yes, I get less alcohol, sugar, and carbs, but I also get to live in my goal weight. And guess what? I'll take that all day long over those things. So, yeah. Yeah, Louis says, yeah, those nuts are crazy. Roasted salted cashews. Oh, forget about it. I would never even eat those. I will tell you, like, I can't get going with the nuts. They're just so addictive. They're crunchy. They're easy to chew. They're so flavorful now. The oil in them, the fat content, the salt in them. It's just, they're so calorie dense. Yeah. Different people are different. I mean, some people give a shit about nuts and some people, oh my God, it's a thing. And for me, yeah, I definitely have to watch that. I will tell you, I remember getting my daughter, it was a sleeve of these little, they were planters. They were like a little package. Like when I tell you, I'm trying to find something to show you how small they were. They were like, I don't know. It was like this big. It was like a packet like this big. It was like, like that. And I remember looking at it. I forget how many calories were in it, but I swear it was like 800 calories. I could not believe it. I was gobsmacked. That got me. That was a couple of years ago. I still remember. I'm like this. I'm like, I think about food and like all this shit a lot, but that moment like is like a core memory now. Like I remember it was a gas station when I was walking out to the car and I looked, I was like, holy shit. It was so far beyond my expectations for what was in that. And I was like, oh my God, thank God I don't eat that shit anymore. I really don't. I don't eat them. And it was hard. That was a hard one. I love peanuts and I love just nuts in general. So I eat raw nuts, but again, as you can imagine, it's a lot harder to pound out, packages of whole nuts. It's a way harder to do. The reason you're able to, pound so many nuts is because, they're processed. You know what I mean? The oil, the salt, the manipulation of them. So anyways, yeah. Yeah. Deanna says, save my glass of wine for pleasure days. Exactly. Exactly. That's a great strategy. That's a scientifically proven strategy. Does it always work? No, but it works a lot of the time. Great. We're looking to play the game. You know, weight mastering, and you don't think of it this way, you think black or white with your weight loss, but the real secret to mastering your weight is you're thinking statistically. So it's not about being 100% perfect. It's about being 1% better a day forever, because that what happens is it starts building on top of itself. And 2 months from now, 4 months from now, 6 months from now, you're in such a different place than you are when you keep doing, oh, I'm doing everything perfect starting tomorrow for 3 days, then go back to doing nothing. And then a couple weeks from now or a couple months from now, I'll do everything perfect for a couple days, and then I'll stop doing it. You know, I mean, God damn, that's I say it every day, and I speak of it the way I do because it's fucking stupid. How else would I speak about it? And yet it's the common wisdom when it comes to weight loss. So I don't know. Mina says, I'm eating fruits in the morning to reduce insulin. Yeah, fruits are great. Yeah, that's a good strategy, Venus. And I would add a little more to it. I like eating fruit in the morning, but I'd probably also add, some, depending on what you do. I'm not gonna give you advice actually, but make sure you go watch my video, because what you need more than anything, Venus, is you need a mindset shift. Okay, because you're thinking about what to do within the mindset of a dieter, and that's going to cause you to do extreme things that you'll do for a couple of days or a couple of weeks, and you'll never get the results that you're capable of. So you need to shift that mindset a bit. And you get a little bit of eating ideas as well. I just ate way past fullness and I feel so guilty. Do not feel guilty. Do not feel guilty when you eat way past fullness, folks. There's no guilt necessary. What you want to do is you want to connect to the experience of it. You want to connect to the pain of eating way past fullness. No guilt necessary. Okay. What would happen if it's like if every time you overate past the point of fullness, I popped out of the closet and whacked your thumb with a hammer and then disappeared. That was it. Would you feel guilty that you ate the food, or would you be in pain? You'd be in pain and say it wasn't enough pain though, and you forgot about it. The next day you did the same thing. I'll pop out, whack your thumb with a hammer, and disappear. You say, oh, I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have eaten that food. No, you say, oh, fuck, ow, Jesus. That's twice now when I ate that way. Now you go a couple days, you don't do it. And then the third day goes by, you say, oh, fuck, I'm overeat. You eat past the point of fullness. I pop out, whack your thumb with a hammer, and disappear. Say, ow, man, that hurts. That really hurts. No guilt necessary. But now, the next time you think about overeating, what are you thinking about before you overeat? The consequence of me popping out, whacking your thumb with a hammer. Guilt is not necessary. It's the pain of the experience of overeating that's plenty. So get rid of the guilt, get rid of the shame, connect to the pain of feeling way full. Because now you're in this state where you know what you're like now when we overeat? I don't know if you all have ever seen like a snake try and eat an egg. If a snake's or I guess anything, it could be anything. But if a snake's eating something and you kind of catch it, like you run into it, it's got like a frog halfway down its throat, it's just stuck there. It's just stuck there, and it's like, oh, and it's like usually they'll try to throw it up to try and be free again, because now they're immobilized, right? They got the food halfway down the gullet and they can't move, so they're just like a sitting duck. It's dangerous as they try and throw it up. When you overeat, you're kind of like that snake. You're fucking useless. When you're overeat, you're tired. Your thoughts get all cloudy. Your emotions get all wobbly. You don't feel good. It's harder to breathe properly. You might have stomach pains. You're not going to sleep as well tonight. You're going to be hungry in another couple hours, ironically. And you're out of commission. You are out of commission. At the very least, you're out of commission as living as the best version of you, right, Twana? You're not the best version of you right now, right? That's the pain that is, to me anyways, and maybe it's not to you, but to me, that's the equivalent of getting my thumb whacked with a hammer. I hate operating at a deficiency. I hate being a shell of myself. And every time I overeat, every time I overdrank and was hungover, alcohol hangover, food hangover, didn't feel very good. And I don't want to live my life that way. So no shame, guilt necessary. Just connect to the pain. And a number of times of overeating and connecting to the pain, it's the same thing as when you whacking your thumb. You're going to want to not do it. And that's what you're going to be thinking about when you consider overeating. And you're going to say, no, I don't want, no, thank you. That's the path to getting rid of that. Kelly says, I drink green tea in place of diet sodas. Now when I drink one, my mind is blown how sweet it is. Yeah, exactly, Kelly. Tell my boyfriend all his diet drinks he drinks at night is what is giving him a sweet tooth. Yeah, absolutely. Of course, it's giving you a sweet tooth. It's the sweetest shit. That artificial sweetener, everyone's, and the cancer thing to me is a red herring. They got you fixed on that because the cancer studies, you go study the cancer studies with the sweeteners. They fed the rats like pounds of sweetener every day, constantly. It was just outside the limits. You couldn't consume that much artificial sweetener. So they throw that out as a red herring. The real story with the artificial sweetener is that it calibrates your tongues to a naturally sweet level so that everything healthy tastes like shit and boring to you and you don't want to eat it. And so, yes, diet sodas, artificial sweeteners give you a sweet tooth. They calibrate your flavor, your tongue profile up to sweeter flavors. Everything's relative, folks. It's like, again, I always use example a lot, but you ever drive home and a song comes on that you really like in the car and you turn it up and the next day you get in the car and the fucking music is blasting. Why is it so loud? Well, it depends on the mood you're in. And you can habituate to a higher level of volume and it sounds normal. And then when you go back to a normal level of volume and go back into the higher levels, oh shit, that's a lot. The same thing happens with your taste. You all are so used to eating shit that you don't even realize how bad it tastes, how sweet it is, how shitty it makes you feel. That's the biggest challenge you all have losing weight, is that you think the thing that's causing you the most pain in your life is causing the most pleasure. And the only way to fix that is awareness. But that's great, Kelly. That's great realization. Super realization. Dana says, never been into sodas, but a fun cocktail or glass of wine is worth waiting for. Compression instead of deprivation is so much better until probably eventually won't even want it anymore. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly, Deanna. Although I will tell you, I still want my wine. I still really like wine on the weekend. So that is not, it's faded a little bit, actually. So I guess I'm sitting here being a wise guy, but it has actually faded a little bit, but I still really enjoy it. But who knows, 5 years from now, I don't know where I'll be with it. So we'll see, but I'm not worried about it either. Yeah. Compression over deprivation is definitely the call. I love nuts. I just measure a little into a salad, but I leave them out if I could eat a handful so easy multiple times a day. Yeah, I put some in my salad, and again, a very small amount, and they're raw. I don't get in the cooked nuts because it's just I have a hard time controlling myself with them. Like, when I say a hard time, I mean impossible. I don't want to say impossible. I think I could strategize if I really wanted to, but I eat peanuts. I eat peanut butter, and I feel like I get more bang for my buck. So I guess in reality, I love peanuts. And that's a strategy I use. I never really thought of it this way. I don't feel like I gave up peanuts. I feel like what I did is I eat peanut butter, natural peanut butter. And that's kind of where I eat like the most. That's kind of where I've made my nut. I could eat any nuts, but I've kind of put it into peanut butter. And that's kind of take a lot of it. And then I eat raw nuts, in addition. Yeah. Gail goes, did you mention nuts? I definitely ate too many on pleasure days. That's okay, Gail. I know Deanna says, oh my God, Gail, I can't think of nuts without thinking of you. I know when we talk in the coaching call, me and Gail, I probably said nuts more to Gail than I've ever said it. Other than today, I feel like I've said nuts a real lot here, but yeah, Gail, I've actually talked to Gail more about nuts than anyone on the planet. Yeah, but Gail says I definitely connected with pain by overeating on pleasure day. That's great. That's great. Again, connecting with pain is not a bad thing. You know what I mean? Like I get people saying that to me sometimes, like, oh, you shouldn't focus on quantity. I don't want to say the words I say because I don't want to get banned. But pain and pleasure are the two forces that drive your behavior. So you may want to learn how to use both of them. Pain, I don't know. Like, we want pleasure, we want less pain. So why not strategically utilize that hardwiring in us and utilize the pain when we overeat? So that's great, Gail. Yeah, PYT is teaching me to lose shame and guilt for the first time. And it feels so freeing. And Gail, yes, because Gail is, again, super smart, definitely an overthinking person, ambitious, successful. Hold on one second. Person. But on the flip side of that, again, everything's a double-edged sword. And the double-edged sword of that is that she would spend a lot of that energy beating herself up, feeling shame, feeling guilty about what she did, instead of using that energy to associate and connect with the pain of overeating. Because again, that's a more nervous system wise, that's a much more effective way to reprogram yourself. We'll leave it that way. I've gotten used to raw nuts. Maybe we'll get there. The raw nuts are definitely a different. The walnuts I find easy because they're kind of in my salad. And it is true. Good Lord. One of the worst things on the planet is a bad walnut. I will tell you that. God, there's nothing to ruin my day more than eating a bad walnut. The almonds, same thing. It's so funny though. Like, someone else told me this. I don't think Erin's here today, but Erin was telling me this is so profound. I think about this all the time. She's like, the way oil affects foods and causes us to eat more of them. And I guess part of it's probably water content. So let's just, the example Erin gave me is she is talking about, like, if you go to tortilla chips. Okay. So it's like, let's be honest, right? If we go to if we go to like a Mexican restaurant and we eat a basket of chips, it's easy to eat a basket of chips. But if you think about, those chips are little mini tortillas about this big, cut into quarters and then deep fried. And it's like a basket of chips, or even half a basket of chips, might be 8, 9 tortillas, mini tortillas. Can you sit down and eat 8 or 9 mini, tortillas as big? Would you want to? Would you? You'd feel so full. And yet you eat those just as an appetizer when they're fried. So the manipulation of food can trick our bodies and brains in very, very profound ways. And I don't even know what the hell brought me there, but what I am saying actually is the raw almonds. That's why the raw almonds, it's like, that is such, to me, it's a profound difference. A raw almond versus a cooked almond. It's so much more satisfying to eat the raw almond. I don't know. You should all test it out and play around with that, because it's a weird experience when you're used to eating something that you could eat handfuls of, and then you go to eat a handful of raw almonds is a lot different. Like, I would not recommend. One way that I got to eating raw almonds, I kind of worked them in with raisins. So I would eat raisins and raw almonds. I spent a lot of time doing that. Now, I was a raw foodist too. So again, your taste is relative. So you become a raw foodist, raisins and almonds taste like the most amazing dessert ever. So that was a helpful little thing I did. But yeah, it takes a little bit to get used to them for sure. It is fascinating. Oh, Deanne says, yeah, I bought natural peanut from Trader Joe's and I like it. Hey, all right. That's great. Yeah, it's got the peanut flavor. And I've never even put that together, that I think part of being able to step away from peanuts, and I would have no matter what, because I could have never, I believe, managed my weight if I was consistently eating nuts. I just don't think I could have. But the peanut butter was a nice way to help make that too. And the natural peanut butter tastes like peanuts, so I like that a lot. And I get the low salt ones as well. But that's the next thing. You don't have to do that. Start that right now. I go through phases. The first phase, switching from Jif to natural peanut butter. The next one was natural peanut butter, low salt version. I tried the no salt, and no, thank you. It was not good to me. But maybe I'll get there someday. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, well, I never thought about the tortilla chips versus, the raw versus chips. That's crazy, isn't it? I think about it all the time. That was Aaron. Aaron said that. I've seen Aaron. So Aaron, I haven't seen you. Shoot me a message. I know you started working that new job and probably got caught up. But shoot me a message, because I know you weren't available on the calls if you want to talk about that. Anyways, can you toast them maybe with way less oil, 1% better? Yeah, toast it. Could you? I don't know though. I don't know if you'd even like them. You can bake them, right? I mean, there's baked. I used to get baked tortilla chips. I never even see those anymore. That's an interesting question. I don't know. Emma says, do you recommend any vitamins or supplements to help with weight loss? I don't really use vitamins or supplements. I kind of go right to the source. I'm a big fan of salads, fruits, vegetables, greens, beans. So I like to get my stuff right from the source, because I think the number one thing supplement you can get in your body is fiber. I think natural whole fibers in the forms of fruits, vegetables, greens, beans. I think that's the path to really setting yourself up for success with your weight. Esther says, I nominate you for an Oscar. What's up, Sanja? Me girl, if I buy nice bread to make a sandwich, I enjoy it too much to have just one. Should I avoid? Yeah. And I hear you. Forget about it. Sandwiches are the other thing. Sandwiches, I eat a sandwich twice a day, every day. I love bread so much. So yeah, I don't really eat. Part of my clean days, a majority of my clean days is I avoid sugar, alcohol, flour is a big part of what I avoid part of my clean days. Just one of them, flour specifically, because I was raised eating so much, and I like bread, carbs, refined carb stuff, like muffins, donuts, bread. I can eat that stuff, lots of it. Not so much with the sugar. Like, I like sweets and sugar, but I don't like binge on sugar. Like, I've never been a person who just eat tons of it. Now, I ate it consistently. I was consistently eating sugar all day long, but I wasn't the type of person to be like, I wouldn't eat like 20 cookies. That wasn't my thing. Now I could eat a loaf of bread though. So I love bread. I can eat a lot of that stuff. So for me, yeah, part of my clean days is typically I don't eat much sandwiches on those days. Now sometimes I do, but I make an intention to cut down pasta and bread and flour on those days. So yeah, I'm in the same boat as you, B girl, is that I can't be eating sandwiches. I'd love to eat a sandwich every lunch and dinner. I mean, I want a better dinner than that, but I need a sandwich every lunch easy. I could eat, yeah, I love sandwiches, but again, it's hard for me to master my weight eating sandwiches. So yeah, I cut the bread out during my clean days. Side part, don't care. You look like George Clooney. All right, I'll take that. Nice. Sanjay, you think we should distance ourselves from food we struggle to control over? Yeah, I think so. I think you should distance yourself as much as possible. That's part of a strategy. It's a tactic. And I think keeping the food out of your house is the first line of defense. If it's in the house, put it away so you don't see it. Again, we want to have an abundance of tactics we use, but absolutely foods that you struggle with, we do not want to have them front and center. We don't want them triggering us when we're thinking about them. We don't want them to be easy to get. That's going to increase their consumption. So again, we want to put as many barriers between them, as distance as possible between them, and we do that in Program Yourself. Then we do that physically, mentally, and emotionally. We put distance between them. Brianna says pictures and it throws me into a depression. You're right. I can't do the best for myself when I feel that way. Exactly, Brianna. And so reframe the process. Okay. Reframe this process and make it about, I always say this, and this is what I mean, is you want to take your weight loss and wrap it in personal development. You need to make this more about looking better. Wanting to look better is just not enough motivation. I know you don't believe me, but it's true. And you need to make this about becoming the best version of you possible. One aspect of that is your weight, but I want you to thinking about who's the best Brianna possible. Who's the best me? Who do I want to be? What relationships do I want to have? What kind of money do I want to make? What adventures do I want to do? What life do I want to lead? Who is the best Brianna? And you start focusing on it that way. And I think that's a much better goal because that's your weight's included with that as well. But there's a lot more context, meaning, and you're going to find motivation with it as well. How many clean days do you have per week? I have 4.5, 5 days is how I look at it. I pretty much go Monday to Friday afternoon are my clean days, usually. And my clean days are intentions. I want to make this crystal clear. My clean days are like, I rarely have like 100% clean day. I just want to make that clear. It's an intention. And so sometimes I might have a clean day intention. And, I go and get an ice cream sandwich after dinner sometimes, or I might have a clean day and all of a sudden, I don't know, I eat a muffin in between breakfast and lunch. Now that happens. I used to do that every day. So now it might happen 2 days a week, so that's way less. Again, that's what I mean. Like when you stop looking at things black and white and you start looking at things statistically, this is the biggest shift you have to make because I'm never going to not eat an ice cream after dinner Monday through Friday. Like I'm never going to get to that reality most likely. And I don't have to. But most people, I have 4 days and not getting ice cream. And then I got a fifth day, I got one, I blew everything. And then they quit. I get an ice cream at that dinner. Who gives a shit? I'm right back on track. That's the difference. That's what's mastering your weight, Oh, Deanna says, I meant the raw nuts. Oh, could you toast them? Toast raw nuts. That's interesting. I've never thought of that. That's very interesting. Yeah, check that out. Let me know, Deanna, if that works. I wouldn't have the slightest clue what that would do. That'd be interesting. What about nut butters such as almond and cashew butters? Yeah, I would say they're probably fine. I don't like the flavors of them as much. But again, too, nuts are great. I'm a big fan of nuts. So yeah, if you like those butters, I think it's great. Again, the natural ones. I'm not going to eat peanut butter with sugar in it. I look to cut sugar out of my diet as much as I can. And so I don't want to have it in extraneous bullshit things. If I'm going to eat sugar, I want it to be in a cookie or a muffin or cake or something really fucking good, not in peanut butter. You know what I mean? So I'll cut the peanut butter out and the things where I don't get that much value out of it. And so when I eat nut butters, it's straight nut butter. It's the nuts blended. That's what I like, Brandon says, I know you talked about it before, but can you talk about how you feel about carnivore? Yeah, I just talked about this. I don't feel very good about carnivore. I think it's an overreaction that desperate people use to try and lose weight quickly. And I don't think it's a very good sustainable plan. Unless you got the intestines of a dog, you're not built to eat just meat. You don't have the teeth to really kill and chew meat. And again, I ask you, what society do you know? What society are you basing this decision on? What society are you referencing that's really thriving, just killing it, eating just meat? I'm sure there's some society in the world doing that, but let me know who they are. Because if that's your criteria anyways, there's way more societies of people thriving on plant-based diets. It's the science is clear to me. And carnivore and keto become an overreaction to a sick society. Our society, America's standard American diet is absolute horseshit. And so we're so confused about what to eat that it leaves a vacuum open for drastic, ridiculous counter things of keto and carnivore. And so, yes, if you're going to master your weight, you're going to have to get your refined carb consumption under control. But to go all the way to keto and carnivore seems so silly to me. Because again, who the fuck are you referencing? What carnivore society are you referencing that's thriving so much you're trying to emulate them? Everything I do is based on role modeling. And so, even the blue zones, which I know the carnivore, it's all bullshit, or it's all bullshit. The blue zones to me seems like a pretty solid way to look at things. That if you look at the people that live the longest on the planet, they tend to come from places that have high plant food based diets. They're eating meat too, but it's primarily plant food based diets and a little bit of meat. That's the usual pattern you're noticing. And you see that over and over and over again. And you have to tell me, you have to tell me, because I don't know. What's the society you're all referencing that's thriving on a carnivore only diet? Again, I'm a simple man. Just send me and don't send me paleo, man, because I found out now the paleo person was eating 130 grams of fiber a day, which that tracks for me. That makes a lot of sense considering how I imagine paleo person eating. I don't think you could eat enough meat. You couldn't kill enough meat to eat that much meat. But maybe I'm wrong. Gail says toasted raw nuts are essentially roasted nuts, and it brings out the oils and makes them more addictive. Yeah, I could see that, because it's funny when you said that, Deanna, I imagine myself like a toasted raw almond, and I would think it would be easier to eat. Mouthfeel and crunch has a huge. This is the lesson y'all got. You in the Thrive program, you all have access to that one, and I think everyone does. I think under the eating blueprint, there's the addictive eating piece. Watch that lesson. That shit is so important to understand. Once you can see behind the curtain of how they make food addictive, I think it gives you the ability to see what's going on in a different way. And so mouthfeel, crunch, initial flavor hits, bliss point, these are things that they scientifically are aiming at to make food addictive. So it overwhelms your body and your mind and causes you to way over consume. And so, yeah, toasting again, and you can do it. You can toast the nuts and make them more addictive, but if you do it with your eyes open, then you can regulate it. You have a much better chance of that. Side part, don't care. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to message you directly. I was laughing at the dog. Oh yeah, the dog. I let that dog out. The dog is a puppy, so she's good and bad. What's your thoughts on monk fruit and stevia? I don't really have too much thoughts on either of them, because I personally just look to reduce sweetness. I think, again, to me, and this is something. This is a good opportunity to talk about my approach to weight mastery, because I think it's so different. I know I like eating sugar. I want to eat a cookie and a muffin. I want to eat, and again, you don't eat sugar. That's just really important to remember. You don't eat sugar. You eat the stuff that sugar's in. And I know you know this, but I'm just making it obvious. But it's like, what I love to eat a blueberry muffin, cookies after, blueberry muffin after breakfast, cookies after lunch, piece of cake after dinner, ice cream after dinner. Would I like to do that every day? Yeah. That'd be great. But I don't want to do it because I don't want I don't want the weight consequences and the health consequences of that behavior. So I take a step back and I say, I want to reduce my sugar consumption. And the easiest way for me to do that in the big picture is to reduce how much sweetness I'm putting in my body, because I'm lowering the craving for it. And so I don't want to put monk fruit and stevia to sweeten things up personally. And I just say, oh yeah, but when you do cook, when you do use sugar, wouldn't that be better? Maybe it would be, but I consume so little sugar week to week, month to month, that I don't really worry much about that. Maybe at some point I'll look for a better alternative to it. So I'm not saying that it's not even about, I don't know enough about it, but what I am saying is on a bigger picture level, I want to reduce the sweetness I'm putting into my body to lower the cravings for that, because I don't want to find alternative ways to put sweetness into my body, because it's got the sweetest thing I want to put in my body is really fruit and occasionally some honey, and I like honey. So I'm not even that occasional, but I'm moderate with that because of the same thing. It starts to trigger me to want more and more and more sweet. So really, if it's not a fruit, I don't really want much sweet in my body on my clean days. So that's kind of what I think about on a bigger level. But again, not saying that it's not a better alternative to sugar. It may be, you know. All right, when I gotta get out of here. So again, if you're not in my world, go to my bio, click the link, get the hypnosis session I give you. It's free. It's called The New Thin Me. It's a kickstart session. I give you a video. It's free. Right after that, watch it. It'll help you master your weight. And what else? Read the emails I send you. I send you emails every day. I think they're really good. Go check them out. And the podcast is Program Yourself Thin. It's on all the podcast platforms. Go check it out. Listen to it. Leave a review if you like it. And if you're really serious about the program, Program Yourself Thin, we got a kind of a do-it-yourself version, a coaching version. You can decide what you like to do. But yeah, go check it out. And thank you so much for listening. Yeah, Brianna, thank you. I'm glad you like the emails and that you're in the world and you took action. Nice job. And B Girl, you're welcome. Thank you, everyone. I really appreciate it. Have a super duper day, and we'll talk soon. Bye.